Welcome in, listeners. This is the James Bocane Experience. Let's get into the Hour of Insights live at KCAA 106.5 and 1050 AM. It's that time again. I know a lot of y'all been looking at my YouTube, my podcast, Apple, Spotify, which you can always find me. But today and right now, it's time to get into the third attribute or
Yes.
third trait of a cannibalistic person using the metaphor
Mm-hmm.
for a cannibalistic American cities. Yes, that's what I said. How cannibalism eats up our American cities. So let's get into the news and notes.
Yes. What you got for us?
Well, it's been a lot going on with the Wells trial,
Yeah.
and it's sad to say that it has to be ripped over the coals
Mm-hmm.
by everyone. Everyone have something to say about it. I won't get into it too
Yeah.
much. Is because it's just sad to see that there's a lot of injustice,
Yeah.
and it's noticed all over the world, not by just blacks and whites.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to ask my viewers and listeners today, what do you think about this? Why does most of the back and forth, the jargon, the fight for who's right and the fight for who's wrong or who's right is only by whites and blacks?
Mm.
Remember just last year, Donald Trump had ICE going on and everyone was involved. So why is it so quiet now that there's blacks being hung? Oh, no, these is young blacks. I mean
Mm-hmm.
blacks. Sorry, blacks. And there, some of them are still teenagers. But when ICE was doing certain things, it was all over the media. You don't
Yes, it
even
was.
hear about these lynchings that's been going on, the targeting. But remember, they're targeting young adults and
Mm-hmm.
primarily by themselves. It's not a group. They're not targeting groups. They're not going in communities and like they did in Tulsa and Carolina, flooding the whole cities. No, they're just doing it quietly, like it doesn't exist. And we're at an outroar. But why are not so many people saying enough is enough? And why they're not coming out protesting and doing all these things like ICE? These are American citizens. ICE, a lot of times, had merit because a lot of people came in this country illegally. But these people that's getting drowned and hung are American citizens. What do they do wrong? So, don't they deserve your support? I'll leave you with that. Now, let's get into all these car wrecks that's been going on these freeways. What's going on, Californians? Why y'all can't drive? We're not going to blame certain people. We just know it's everyone. I'm
Yeah.
talking about cars, these 18 wheelers.
Motorcycles.
Everybody is hitting somebody. No one will take accountability. Our insurance companies is at an all-time high. Why? It's because more and more accidents. They know they're gonna pay out. So an insurance company's whole goal is to get money in, but put less money out. Money in, less money out. Sounds like capitalism.
Right.
So there's nothing wrong with capitalism. It's just that's how it functions. More money in, less money out. The haves and the have-nots. So in your insurance company is making your premiums go up. Guess who's going to have and guess who's going to have not. But please, when you're on that road, consider someone else's life, time,
Yeah.
because that's what you're doing. You're threatening their life or taking a life, or you're wrecking their cars and taking their time away from making their livelihoods. If I can't get to work on time, this might be the last time I could be late. Then here you come smacking me. Now I got to sit here because the police don't even want to take accidents reports no more. It's
No, they
hard to get the
don't.
police to come out and take an accident report. Where do they do that at? There's a crime being committed. So the police now is targeting who they're going to represent and who they're not. We're here to protect and serve. Even though it's property, it's my
Yeah.
property. But they'll run up there and take everyone to jail for $200 shoplifting. Well, my car is worth thousands of dollars. And you mean to tell me when it's damaged and something happened to it, you can't come and take a police report, but you will run down to a convenience store
Yeah.
and take people to jail for shoplifting? I wonder where they do that at. Wow. What have we come to, Californians? Because our whole sense of direction is going the wrong way. And I wonder in the long run, who does that benefit? So it won't benefit the have-nots. We're going to get into it because, like we said, the second trait was a lack of empathy. And that's what we have it now on the California freeways, a lack of empathy. People don't feel for people anymore unless it's their people. Shame, shame. Okay, let's get into segment number 1. Before we start, we're going to tell you about segment number 2. It's called Reading for the Blind. Next segment, segment 3, as always, Inland Raider. Yes, I said it. Inland Raiders and Skittles weekly sports recap.
Yes. Yes.
So let's get into it. Third trait of a cannibalistic person is antisocial.
Yeah.
That means that medically, in medical terms,
Yeah.
antisocial means someone who manipulates or have a disregard for others. But metaphorically, we're going to use it today so we can show
Yeah.
that how antisocial devours the trust, the profit, and jobs, livelihood in your community, my community, and communities around the United States. So I ask you, what will happen if individuals, businesses, and gangs have anti-socialism views? Shawnees, give us concern 1.
Loss of empathy. A person, our gang begins making decisions without considering how those decisions affect others.
Now, affecting others. We just spoke about it.
Yeah.
People in their car are so antisocial, they can't even focus on the people next to them. This also happens in the community because it attacks our trust. If you can't trust your neighbor, you're not going to talk to your neighbor.
Oh
You're not going
no,
to let your kids nothing. You're not going to do business with them
not at
because
all.
we only do business with who we can trust,
Trust. Yes.
except in the black community. I know that was a jab, but facts are facts.
Yes, it is.
Yes. But you got anything to say on that, Skittles?
No, I think you're all right because the only neighbor I talk to is my manager. I can trust my manager. And then
There
the
you
other
go.
ones, the other ones I to be honest, I don't talk to them. They don't say hi to, some of them do say hi. So I probably got like other than my manager like one guy. He says hi, we communicate and he'd be like, "How you doing?" And I'd be like, "How you doing?" And then his daughter used to come to my porch to see my tortoise and stuff. But no, it's true. I don't know any of my neighbors, and I can't trust them because I don't
Now,
know them.
exactly. Now, back in the day, to give you a quick glimpse of the
Yeah.
80s and the 70s, everybody in the community, because we had block parties. If you lived in
Yes, we did.
apartments, everybody came out. People brought food together, potlucks. We did everything. You were always outside. Now, what do you have? Just like you said, everyone antisocial.
Yeah.
Give us the next one.
The next one would be exploitation for personal gain. The goal becomes power, money, or control, regardless of the cost.
Yes, I like to look at power because that's what it's all about. See, control is a form of power, but control in itself is not bad because if you can control a situation, you're responsible for it. But most of the time nowadays, people don't want the responsibility, they just want control. They want to tell you how to live,
Yeah.
where to live, and when to live. And they also want to tell you how you can die. It's because now funeral homes has taken the poor people out of funerals. The reason why I say that, either you're gonna go in debt or you're gonna go to where we have cremations.
Yeah.
And now a lot of people now tell their children, create me. I mean, not create me, but
Cre-
cremate me.
yeah. Cremate.
Create me. Yeah, it's the opposite around, but anyway, yes, we want to do cremations. It's because who wants to leave behind debt?
Yes.
We're trying to get our families out of debt. So why do we want to leave it behind so they can have more so generations on generations will not prosper? We need a generation to sacrifice for the next generation because it comes easier. And if we can get two generations to say, you know what? We're going to sacrifice so our third generation can live like the haves. We'll be a lot better. And you know what I'm saying. And you know who you are. Give them the next one, Skittle.
Generational damage. Children learn destruction behavior by observing adults are situations, are in situations.
Now, when we did on my YouTube, the James Bocane Experience,
Yeah.
where we go live and it's uncensored. So
Yes.
we brought up modeling in the 10 attributes of original gangster. We brought up modeling. What is this right here? Now we're looking at antisocial, a concern. The concern is when the children model the adults. That is what? A form of cannibalistic trait of a person. Violence. See, when we brainwash people into believing this, that, and them are your enemy, guess what we do? We take this kid's mind, we corrupt it, and then what do we get out of it? Violence. We get violence. So now, when you go to an elementary school, all you see the kids playing, they want to play, but then you see a certain group of kids looking mad, always want to fight the other kids, bullying. See, this is where all this stuff starts. Then it gets into the teenage years where their mental or their hormones is all over the place. But we done taught them from young how to be violent, but we always telling them when they get in trouble, why are you so violent? Because they're modeling you. They're modeling, well, I was going to say molding, but yes, they've been molded after you, Mr. Violent person, violent individual. Next one.
Accountability.
This is the three. Oh, okay, three.
Yeah.
Accountability. So we're at right now. Was that the third concern, or
Yes.
you moving on?
That was the third. The third concern was generational damage.
Okay.
And then here are some insights we can use to combat anti-socialism, which is accountability.
Okay, there we go. Now we're looking at some solutions.
Yes.
Thank you, viewers and listeners, for that, because it's time. Without a problem, you don't need a solution. But when you have a problem, you need a solution. And we have three of them for you. Like Skittles said, accountability. Are you being accountable for what you do? We were talking about driving. You must be accountable, is because that's why you get permission to drive a vehicle. These vehicles are dangerous without the proper guidance, the proper accountability on watching, respecting the drivers that you're around, respecting the public, having empathy for someone you can damage their life in a second. Now, also accountability is to you, to the gangs that's in the neighborhood, to the corporations that's in the neighborhood, and to also the communities itself. Because we must take accountability for our actions. As Skittles was saying, there's anti-socialism in her community.
Yeah.
So we need to take accountability for that and say, well, what are we going to do about it? Let's just start being neighborly. A high, what's wrong with a high? Because maybe that frown on your face when someone says hi to you, to acknowledge your existence, not just because you're alive, you exist. You will feel better. It will make you with the energy saying, yes, I'm alive, but I exist today. Someone recognized me. Take my mind off these bills. Take my mind off of what I don't have and put me in a position of focus on what I do. And the corporations, stop spending all your money with them because they give you these commercials, they give you these ads, which is nothing wrong with it. People need to find what they're looking for. But do not get consumed with it where it takes all your resources and now you have nothing left but anger, violence, because you mismanage your money, because symbolism is powerful. So you must take accountability for your mindset. The focus that you need on your day-to-day task is important, and stop blaming other people. Although we talk about corporations, we also talk about money management, because that corporation has the right to run its commercial, to run its ad, and to target you. Because you have the money to make them exist. See, they're alive, but without your money, they don't exist. They don't become millionaires without $1 million. Next, Skittles.
Yeah, so the second one, like you said, safe community. The third one was ethical leadership.
Ooh, now ethical. How many people you know today are ethical? Because there was something a long time ago I said about we need ethic classes,
Yeah.
mannerism classes to go back. See, I come from a time when they had schools where they teach young ladies how to walk, how to sit, how to squat. Nowadays, they think these teenage girls supposed to know this by chance. You don't see none of this no more. And I'm not just targeting the ladies. I'm saying also the men because the men don't. I was just at my daughter's orientation, second grade. I can count on my hand, one hand, how many men I've seen out there. And I kind of got outraged. This is a part of antisocial, so don't lose me. I kind of got outraged. It's because I'm tired of the narrative that men don't help with their kids. I seen a young lady, she had 4 boys. I'm looking at, okay, her husband or
Yeah.
her kid's father might be at work. But see, we have days when we should take off and we
Yeah.
don't. And then we have days where we take off because we want to. See, so I believe men should have been there, just like I was, to show and to help our mothers with the children, especially boys, because it kind of get chaotic, and especially when you're around a bunch of women, they want to socialize. See, they ain't antisocial, they're social. So we'll get back on that because too much social is not a good thing all the time. Chaos can rise and them kids be moving. But anyway, men, we need to step back up because there are men that steps up. Stop being antisocial with your kids, the mother of your kids, women in general, and let's have a solution. Let's have mannerism, ethics. And that's what they want for Mr. Young Wells. They want equality, equal justice. And that's what we want in our communities that are being devoured by cannibalistic traits, individuals, corporations, and gangs. Because the gangs have a problem too, because they know the youth come to them for belonging, support, and protection. And then you got those who take advantage of them.
Yes.
Not all of them, because not all gang members is bad. They got you got a lot out there that will see something going on for women when the people working in the store, a business, won't even come out there and help. And they'll be right there to help, protect. So it ain't all bad. It's just we have let the ones who want to take something in itself that is not bad, created bad, so they can rise to the top and have control over our communities and situations is because they know without dummying down, and not saying they're dummies, but we dummy down our ethics. We
Yep.
dummy down our mannerism. We dummy down our support, our trust, and they rise. And it makes them seem bigger than they really are. Smart people, stand up. Next, Skittles.
That is so. Communities thrive when empathy, accountability, and trust guide decisions, right? When antisocial behaviors, whether by an individual or a corporation or a gang, becomes normalized, the cost extend beyond crime or misconduct. They affect relationships, public safety, economic opportunities, and the long-term financial health of the entire community. A healthier future depends on restoring trust, engage in ethical leadership, and recognize that the well-being of a community is tied to how its members treat one another. And that was the end of that.
Okay, now, the well being of the community. It's who you can trust, it's relationships. Doesn't sound like a marriage because we all marry to each other through our citizenship. Those who are even the immigrants, when they come over here, they're married to the American way of life. They want to be a part of it, and that is a relationship. But in a relationship, you must have trust, because if you have distrust, miscommunication, where does that lead? Divorce. And that's the problem nowadays. What's dividing us is we have a divorcement in our communities because everyone is miscommunicating, lack of trust, lack of empathy. Here we go with that again. Lack of empathy because they don't feel the way the next person feel because they was led to believe they got a little something. Because sometimes immigrants come where it's not profitable. But then they get over here and then they get into these buildings, rent, homelessness. Then this puts a strain a lots of time on the economy or the community because the only resources is allotted so much. That's why they have census.
Yeah.
So this community, that community, this race or nationality gets so much. This gets so much. School, same way.
Yeah.
They want to know if your kid is absent 2 times a month. That's 24 times. Guess what? That school get deemed. And they know in lower income areas, there's a lot of things going on. So that's who they target. And then they take that money and where do they go? Just like in your communities right now. Do you look at your streets today? Have you sent messages? The mayor of San Bernardino, the mayors of all these cities, not just San Bernardino. I'm sorry, I can't just blame.
No.
I think she's a female.
Yes.
LA County now, I remember we did used to blame. That's why I went because San Bernardino had some horrible streets. Riverside, not so much, because I just go to Riverside. You can press their buttons, and I give it up to Riverside because they accommodate the blind. Doop, 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 doop. Walk. I'm like, hey, they got it going on. At least they putting back for the community.
Yeah.
At least they have some accommodations, not all, but they trying. You got to give it up to a person or a people or a corporation, business that tries. I'm talking about the ones who have a lack of empathy. They anti-social. They do not want to socialize with change. Yeah. They don't want to socialize with what works. They don't want a solution because it's profitable.
Yeah.
So they're going to keep you where they need you until they don't need you no more. And then you know where that's at. Woo-wee. They got a lot of places around in the deserts and everywhere else just waiting to be housed. Waiting for the people to leave. They got a trick up their sleeve. Next one, Skittles.
I think that was it that I have on the agenda.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to go to what we call the reading for the blind. This should be a good one. Skittles.
Yes.
Give them a quick break, please.
Okay.
You ready? This is the Reading for the blind. For those who do not understand what is the reading for the blind, it's not just for blind individuals. It's for people that are mentally. It's for people who just don't care, who have a lack of empathy. So we're going back to try to get the elders to read with the youth and the youth to read to their elders so we can get back into a connection, not a disconnect, but a connect. And if we can start with the families, we can bring that outside. And then we don't have to be antisocial, we can be social. Here's the boss.
Okay. First, we're starting with Leviticus 19:32. Stand up in the presence of the aged. Show for the elderly and reverse your God. I am the Lord.
No, you just stay there. Pass the. Thank you for that. As we talked about anti-social, we know there's a disconnect from the youth and to the elders. That's what this is mainly for, is to get back, be social with the elders. They have given their life up for you and me. They have given their finances. They have given so much of themselves, mainly their time, hard work, and body. So you mean to tell me we can't read them a book or read? See, back in my days, there was newspapers and everything else. Sorry about that, because I know this is a younger generation. But you can just watch a movie. You don't have to read. Now we have audio books. Go have some coffee with your grandmother, your auntie, your mother that is a senior, and just spend an hour. And then it's more and laugh and talk. Find out who you really are. You don't have to go to Ancestry.com if you still got your ancestors on this planet. Go talk to them. Learn. Connect. Bring back that trust that we have given away to people who don't. Your creator has created you. And guess what he said? Man, it's not good for man to be alone. That means anti-socialism is good in itself, but it's not good for the betterment of the species.
The next one, Proverbs 27:17. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
That's what reading for the blind is today. Sharpening others as they sharpen the James Cain experience. Because my experience is your experience. And I gain my insights from your insights. So you didn't hear it from me. You heard it from the creator that's speaking out to all its people saying, iron sharpens iron. That's why I love Proverbs. And if I could say to you, read one Proverbs a day. It's 31 of them. If you can do that for the rest of your life will be enriched and blessings shall fall upon you every day. And see, that's a guarantee. And that's a part of being unconditional. Because everything got a condition, but when you read something to become wise, and the action is the wisdom after you read it and you apply it, which is good, it will give you something in return, and you don't have to do nothing for it but find it, enjoy it, and bring it inside your soul to come out and explode in your community, your churches, temples, whatever your mass, we can't leave the math out, but whatever is good for you, enjoy it.
The third one is Romans 12:10. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves.
Now that's trust. To honor someone above yourself, first of all, you must trust them, and you can't be antisocial. See, antisocialism is good when you know your buddy is going over there to do something, or your homegirl, or your friend, or your business. Because you're an employee and you're working for someone and you know they're doing wrong, but you need this job, so you say nothing. And it's sad that they call them whistleblowers. Why do you have to blow a whistle on people who knows what they doing is not right? So what do we do with those people? Where do we take them? I call them legal criminals. It's because they commit crimes when the legal atmosphere keeps them afloat. Sounds like some politicians I know.
Galatians 6:2. Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ.
Now that's the anointed one calling out for you. Your burdens. Because see, your burdens, he wants you to come to him. Because that's what a savior is for. A savior is for someone that comes and takes your burdens and teaches you how to deal with them. See, but don't just wait, because guess what? We have therapists now. Therapists can help you with your burdens. See, the anointed one is not just talking about sitting there praying all day long, because like I initially said, read a Proverbs every day, and it will tell you how to get out of your burdens. It's because the mind can take you away from pain. The doctor can't do it. Merck can't do it. What they do is give you a Band-Aid for it, but they always tell you eat better, stop smoking, exercise. See, these are all things that the anointed one, your creator, who you believe in, it don't matter what religion you are, it don't matter who you serve, it matters about your education. And it's not just college. Education is anything that will educate the mind, that will teach you how something works or how you work. So that's what we need today. We need more trust. We need less anti-socialism, and we need the people to stand up and tell who they have put in authority with their money, their time, and their votes, that if you do not do what we say, you will not have that office come next election. We need to start putting pressure, is because it's okay now when it's not your child, but when it comes down to your child, you gonna want things done. It's just like last year was ICE. This year it's the Black Americans fighting for justice. We're gonna take a quick break and come back with Inland Raider and Skittles Sports Weekly Recap. Yes. We're back again. Sorry. Let's see how much. Oh, we got time.
Yes, we do got time.
What did Skittle?
Sports.
Break it off too, because you know I'm gonna talk about the Raiders.
And I'm sad to tell you, the Raiders didn't win against Arizona. It was 14-27. But you know who did win? Pittsburgh, black and yellow against the Green Bay, 9-28. But the Lions and the Bengals actually had a good game. It was 14-16. They were still trying to fight up in there. We had the Chargers this week, and we had the Houston Texans. Now the Chargers did whoop the Texans 27-7. And then, of course, we can't forget San Francisco 49ers was playing Tennessee. Tennessee did win 19-13. And then we had the Miami Dolphins. So we had a good first week of the NFL. The Dolphins actually lost that game to the Commanders. It was 7-20. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Jets, they won 24-16. And of course, the Broncos and the Falcons. Now the Broncos whooped the Falcons 27-7. Now today we had the Browns and the Bears. The Browns did lose from 10-34. We have Vikings at New York. The Vikings did win 13-10. And then we had the Panthers today and the Bills, which the Panthers did get whooped 14-29. After this show, don't forget to go watch football because right now it's the Rams and the Jaguars.
Okay, okay. That was, that was all across the board. Thank
Yes,
you
it
for that,
was.
Skittles. You got that in, boy. This is the favorite time of the year for a
Yes,
lot
it
of
is.
people, especially football fans. You have a lot of holidays coming up, a lot of events.
Yes.
Once it start cooling down, because it's been a scorcher, but that's summer. That's summer. I'm going to talk about them Raiders. Even though the Raiders lost,
Yeah.
excuse me, the they had a great showing. I
Okay.
understand the defense just needs time to get
Yes,
together
it
because it's
does.
almost a whole new defense. But see, they play Arizona again in the regular season, so
Yes, they
that's
do.
pretty much soft because you don't want anyone knowing, what you're going to bring
Yeah.
to them. But the offense, Kirk Cousins looked it well. Big Mike, the running backs looked it super. And the big one is Mendoza. It looks like the Raiders finally have them a quarterback. So watch out because if he's the real deal, in a couple of years, we're going to see how y'all feel. And that's what I'm talking about, you Raider haters. Because when we lose, y'all loud. But when we win, y'all stop talking. Next, Skittles.
Okay, I know NBA is, we off season, but Westbrook announced his retirement after 18 NBA seasons. The 2017 MVP finished his career as the NBA's all-time leader in triple W.
What?
Yes, he
I
did.
didn't know Russell Westbrook. Well, his dad is a friend of mine, he's a very good friend. Um, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember him at UCLA, and I didn't know he was gonna be that vicious, and he became a
It-
great basketball player, and and a great person. A lot of
yeah.
people, because he played with that edge, that aggressiveness. And it was cool because he wasn't playing no games. He said, when I get on this court, it's all about taking you down. And when Kobe did it, it was cool. But when he did it,
It was
a lot of people, got edgy on that. But
yeah.
hey, Westbrook had a great career and he was one of our elite basketball guards. And he all his praise, kudos, and it all goes with that because he gave it to us. He wasn't the best on the Lakers, but overall, Oklahoma City, he balled. And if they
Yeah.
broke up that team, and I'm not gonna mention his name, that want to run to the the ones who was taking them down to fucking cheat to get a ring,
Right.
they probably would have won one in OKC. But they got one now. See, that's one thing, karma, because now Golden State can't even run with Oklahoma City right now. So times change.
Yeah, times has changed. So Bradley Bill agreed to return to the Los Angeles Clippers on a 2-year, 13.2 million deal.
What do he still got? I, Bill was a good guard too. He was a good shooting guard. He was a good player. I really enjoyed it. And a lot of times I understand why some of these players want to move on because where they're at, their
Yes.
careers, like everybody don't see their greatness. So they be wanting to move on and say, okay, wait a minute, man. I tried, I gave you my best, but management didn't give me their best and put some guys around me so we could win. But that's great for him that he's still getting paid and we can still watch him.
Yes, of course. And now, to end that, the 2026 Basketball Hall of Fame is August. Actually, was this weekend taking place.
The who Hall of Fame for what sport?
NBA.
Oh,
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday.
okay. See, now that's strange, is because everybody knows when NFL, and I'm a sports guy. I did not know the NBA Hall of Fame was yesterday. I never even knew when it was. I just, because I follow the Lakers,
Yeah.
and it's always Hall of Fame, and you can go to their building, and you're gonna see Hall of Fame. That the Lakers, I I love what they did, and it's sad that in our community you give so much, and they just sold the Lakers again. I don't
Dang,
know.
I didn't know
I
that.
don't know. Yes, they sold the Lakers again, but I give it to the owner of the Dodgers because he owned the Dodgers too. He in 1 year he bought it for. I mean, he bought it for 10, but he sold it for 12.5. That's making money. That's making money. You made a 2.5 billion in 1 year. But also he has, they're probing around into his business, so we'll stay tuned for that. That sounds like that's going to be interesting in the public.
Yes.
And we'll see about them Dodgers because they still ball.
Yep. Yeah, they played. The Dodgers beat the Bills 3-1 for Friday night. So I know I'm gonna botch his name, but Yoamoto struck out 9 over 6 innings, while Page and Tommy Admin home. The victory moved Los Angeles to within 1 game of the Merrill in the National League race.
That's why I'm a Dodger fan. And them Dodgers give you what you pay for because they go out there and they ball. And they
Yes.
take the best. And a lot of them is injured. A lot of them is damaged. And they take them, give them time to heal, and then get them back on their mound and get them with their pitching coach. Next thing you know, these dudes is smoking that ball against all the best hitters in the world. But thank y'all for tuning in to the James Kane Experience. This is my hourly insight radio show at KCAA 106.5, 1050 AM. And we going to leave you with what we always like to bless you with. If you feel your life is not going right, restructure, regroup, refocus on what you have left. And we out of here. We'll see you next Saturday.